Let's look at the downward sloping demand curve. When we're in perfect competition, we have a situation where the sellers are price takers, right? Price can't be set or influenced by any one individual firm. In that situation, the firm can sell as many units as it wants at the going market price. So it's the interaction of all of the buyers and sellers. All of them are small and uninfluential individually. It's their combined interaction that sets a market price. And the sellers can sell then as many units as they want at that going market price. So there wouldn't be any surplus, there wouldn't be any shortage, they wouldn't have any inventory that they bring home. The market clears and their individual stores clear out. In a market where there is pricing power, where a firm can set or influence the price, even if there's just a few firms, right, then they're said to face a downward sloping demand curve. So if we think about the perfect competition firm, the demand curve would be a horizontal line that at some market price, it's horizontal, it goes out to as many units as desired. A firm that can set market price or can influence market price doesn't face that kind of demand curve. They face one that's downward sloping, which means that in order to sell more units, they have to lower their price. So in perfect competition, when we calculate the values of the table, it tends to look like this. The price is the same for every unit. The total revenue goes up by increments of that price, and the marginal revenue is the same on every unit, and price is equal to marginal revenue. That's different than firms that are in a market where they have market power or the ability to set or influence price. Then their price and quantity relationship shows that in order to sell more units, they have to lower their price. It's more like a traditional downward sloping demand curve. When the price is 10, high price, they can only sell one unit. If they lower their price, they get a price of $9 for each unit, they can sell 2 of them. If they lower it to $8, they could sell 3. And so you can see that the total revenue is increasing, going from 10 to 18 to 24 to 28, etc. But the marginal revenue, the extra revenue, is actually decreasing. It's not constant for all units. It's 8 for the second unit, and then the marginal revenue on the third unit is only 6, and on the fourth unit it is only 4. That's the pattern of numbers in the table, if you will. That's the pattern of cost and revenue behavior when a firm has market power. So let's sort of summarize that into some general observations about the differences for a firm that faces a situation where they do have market power. So in that circumstance, the marginal revenue is going to be less than the price for all units after the very first one. The marginal revenue, in fact, can actually be negative. They have to lower their price to the point where they're not bringing in extra revenue. They're actually totally decreasing their revenue in order to sell more units. The price charged is going to be greater than marginal revenue, and that results in positive economic profit. So that's sort of the second half of the very first item there. And then, generally speaking, the price in a monopoly market will be higher than the price offered in a market that's perfectly competitive. And that has a lot to do with the number of firms driving down the overall price. We'll pick up with another lecture on monopoly and monopolistic competition and oligopoly soon.